Hi everyone, so today is the last video I'm filming before the Christmas and New Year's break, and I wanted to share something with you that I've got into in the last couple of weeks, and it's needle felting. And I created this cute little guy, and he was just so incredibly fun to create. And I have to say that I've never tried needle felting before in my life, and I haven't done any test trials. This is literally it. I started making him, and this is what he looks like. He is not finished fully yet. There will be some finishing touches that I need to make, but he's pretty much there. And I have to say, it was the most I don't know, detoxifying and super therapeutic thing to do. Even though you're working with a needle and there's a risk of piercing yourself, other than that, for the first trial, I think that's pretty good. And if you're careful, and I was lazy to wear one of those sleeves for your fingers, which I'll show you in a minute. If you kind of get them, wear them, and that way you won't hurt yourself at all. But all I wanted to say to you is that this is super fun. I know some of us are sometimes stressed, and sometimes, I don't know, it can be, challenging time we're going through in life for whatever reason it is, family or financial, anything. And I myself have had very challenging few months, and I think this is why I have been diving into crafts so much. It's been a kind of like a self-healing process of learning new things, and also kind of running with it, just completely taking a new hobby in and learning about it, and then just putting the pen to paper and seeing where it will take me. And you can't think of anything else when you needle felting other than needle felting and creating this adorable creature. So I went for a teddy. This design came out of my head, and I knew I wanted to do, eventually I want to do a rabbit, like a bunny, but I decided that a teddy would be the easiest for me. But I'm just so happy with the shape. He's just so perfect from every angle to me that I don't want to do any more work. And I'm just happy to have him like that. And in fact, I will make him sit in one of those glass domes from IKEA. I'll show you in a minute. So here it is. It's basically, this is the base of it, and then it comes with this glass dome, and they're quite small. I think this was the smaller size. And what you do is you sit any object you want in there like that, and then you put the glass dome, and what that means is that it's going to be protected from dust, from dirt, and it's just going to look like a beautiful decoration in there, something quite precious. And that's where he's going to live, and he is just adorable. Although it's felted in really nicely, so the arms and the feet I don't think would come off, but it's something very precious. And these are the toys you make for yourself. It's like, like kids' toys for adults, really. You can take him out and you can kind of hold him. It feels very nice in your hands, but then I wouldn't want to just chuck him somewhere and that's it. He's very precious. And I will talk you through what you need for needle felting, just in case you find him as adorable as I am and you want to learn a little bit about this art. Now, you can see his coat is made out of this beautiful wool, which I will show you here. So this is the wool I bought, and it's like a navy color, and inside there is gorgeous little, I hope you can pick up, gold, green, blue and red metallic threads. They're super fine, very beautiful, and they're a little bit harder to work with than with the actual wool, because they won't go into the wool as easily. So at the end, what you can do is you can just trim some of them if they're sticking out, but you can see I've done quite well. So they're going over this direction, and some of them going down his back. You can see that he has a few sparse areas left, so I have to fix that. So it's this little area right here, and couple on his legs and arm, and maybe a couple of things on his face I would fix, but I will see. I mean, I really do adore him. Yes, he needs a little bit of fixing just here on this side of the face. So let's start with the very first thing that you need for needle felting. Okay, so this little guy basically started off like that. Okay, there was nothing else there. So I started off with this natural kind of color, and this is 100% natural. It says here Märchenwolle, and it's 50 grams, and it says it's white, so that's in German, and it's a German brand. From what I can understand, it says KnorrPrandell, be creative, and it is merino. So the best thing to get is Marina Wool, from what I understand. Now, these ones are great to begin with, so it is up to you, but I wouldn't use any other colors. I would start with the white or off-white wool, create the whole body that you're happy with, and then on top I would build up the colors. So in fact, inside or underneath these colors, he is this color. And then on top, I went with this beautiful kind of pale peach color on the face, and the blue metallic that I just showed you. So I'll show you the other sets of wool that I ordered, so that you know what you would need for different colors. So if you start with a nice, get a few packs of this, because you do end up using a fair amount. I don't know, probably this amount would make 2 teddies, and that's, like I said, that's 50 grams. So yeah, a lot of wool goes in. You wouldn't be able to tell that from this, but you have to felt it quite densely for it to keep the nice shape and have nice density. I mean, he's still a little bit squashy. He's not rock hard, but I just I don't know, I want this texture. I don't want him to be any harder, if that makes sense. Maybe because he's a teddy, but yeah, so you do use up a lot of wool. So in terms of the blue color that I just said that I used for his coat, and I kind of went for this look like he's wearing a onesie, and I wanted his head to be a different color, because if he would have been completely dark, then I feel that the face features wouldn't come out as well. I wanted to have a light head, and that to be his fur color, and then this is to be like the outfit sort of thing. So I ordered this lovely beautiful set. I think it's called something Ocean, and it is merino wool, so it's very good quality, and you get these beautiful colors. So in this set you get let's see, so you got also this kind of dark green beautiful color with the same metallic kind of threads in there, and then you also get, trying to see, no, so that's it. So you only get 2 with the metallic threads, and then you have this one and this too. So like a blue with mixed in colors and a green with mixed in colors, and then you get solid 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 solid colors in here, which are beautiful teals, beautiful turquoises, and that kind of thing. So very nice set. So that's this. The color I used for his face is out of this huge pack, and this had 40 colors in here. So this is again merino wool, and it says it's 120 grams approximately, the whole thing. So in fact you get very small amounts inside here, but what this is good for is that you can create small areas, and you have loads of colors to work with. So this would not be sufficient possibly to cover a whole body of this size, because they're very small. So let me show you. So they're all varied sizes. So this is quite small piece here. some of them are a little bit bigger, like this pink, and it's quite unpredictable what size you'd get of which color. So if you like this color, you know, you might get less of it, and that's the kind of the negative aspect of it, the unpredictability. But the good thing is you get so many colors and you can work with a lot of variety. So this is the color here, which is this sort of beautiful peachy, very light color that I used for his face, and I'll show you up against a white one. So this is a white. So this is a white color, and this is next to it. It's a very mild, very pastel peach. The set I just showed you with the ocean colors, you get a lot more here. So you got a bigger size. So you can see that they are double the size of what I just showed you. So beautiful. And I think that one of these should be enough to cover his whole body, really, because I have used this one for his body and not his head. And you can see I've got about probably more than half left. So that should be more than enough to do his entire body with like really good felting. So we'll show you a couple more wool sets that I got. So this is Merino Wool as well, and it's the neutral tones. So this is pack of 9, and let's see about the size of them. It says, doesn't say anything actually. So these are knotted, and when you unknot them, there is a really good amount. So I'd say similar to the blue one. This is gorgeous color, isn't it? He would look lovely in this color. So I think this is a hobby I'm taking with me into 2019, because it's been the most satisfaction I have ever felt when creating something, even more therapeutic than watercolors. I don't know what it is. So you get a few browns, very nice browns, a few beautiful grays. I love this gray. It's like a pastel gray, a black, white, like a beigey off-white. Very nice set. So it would be great for teddies. Like this one would be amazing. And the final bit I got, and I'm not sure why, is this wool here. Now I can't see anything, it doesn't say anything in here because there is no paper, nothing. So I'm not sure if this one is actually merino wool or not, because it feels a lot harder. The merino wool is a lot softer. This feels similar to the material or the wool that I used for him as a base. So what I may do, because it feels like that, I might use that as a base in my future bunnies or whatever I decide to create, just because there's loads of it. And again, I don't remember the amount that's supposed to be in here, but there's a huge amount. I assume that I could make maybe 6 or 5 teddies out of this amount. Okay, so that's about the wool. Now let's quickly give you a run through what you need for needle felting if you decide to start this amazingly addictive hobby. So first of all, obviously you need some needles, and I will show you a couple. So these are the things that you might poke yourself with, which could be quite painful, but I found that I would only poke myself right in the beginning, so maybe in the first hour or 2 of needle felting in my life, or in the end when I was getting a little bit like tired. So I wouldn't recommend to needle felt more than for like hour and a half, because I find myself that within an hour I don't get tired, like my hands don't get tired, but within like say 1.5 hours I start to make movements that perhaps aren't as accurate. So needles, you'll need 3 sizes of different of the needle, and I got this pack, which I don't know whether to recommend it or not. It doesn't look great. I wish it looked a little bit more like neat and professional, but it has everything in there that you need. So except for this didn't come in there. So I got this. I'll link everything that I'm mentioning in the description below. So you have 3 sizes of the needles, and you have these little finger sleeves that I mentioned. So these are made out of thick leather, and I don't think that you would poke yourself through, like, you know, there's no way of going through that. So that's really good quality. Now I wish, like I said, that I was using this leather when I was just starting. So these are quite cool. These are sort of like metallic gold colored ones. There are some that don't look as nice. These look actually quite nice. So that's what I would do. Wear these, and then you get the 3 sizes of the needle, the small, the medium, and the large. Now let me show you the difference of the sizes. So if I lay them like this on the table, so the medium and the long seem to be similar size, except for the long is obviously the longest, but the small is quite a bit shorter. And the handle, I mean, is a very similar size, and the needle is a little bit longer. So that's the difference in the thickness. And when you look at the needle, I don't know if you'll be able to pick up on this. This is very delicate. It's not a smooth kind of rounded needle. There you go, you can see it. They are kind of slanted at the edges, and I think there are maybe 3 or 4 slants to it, I don't know. And there are also cuts in there at an angle, which means when you're poking into the wool, it kind of pulls it down and up, and that means that it will basically tangle the wool inside. So that's all it is. So you can't really do the same without the needle that's created for felting. You won't achieve that. So here is the medium. Let's just show you real close up of the 3 like that. So you can see that the big one is quite chunky, and they do look quite scary, and they're really sharp. So there you go. Okay, so then you also get in this set, you get these 3 wooden needle handles, or yeah, I think they're called needle handles. You can load up these 3 wooden handles with the 3 sizes, so you don't need to change anything as you're working, and that will save you some time. And you just go from a small to a big to a large, and you could also write down the small, medium, and large on the bottom of the handle, so it's easier for you to figure out which one is which. But in essence, that is what you get here. Let me just show you again as a contrast the small and the large, so you can see there how much wider the large is. So what you need the large for is when you're starting and you're doing the base of your toy or whatever you're creating, you will need the largest one to kind of make it quicker, and the smallest one you need it at the end when you are creating details. Now medium is something middle ranged, so you can use that perhaps when you are in between starting and ending, and that is it. And you might wonder why there are so many of these needles there. Well, you do break them, and I have broken 2 during the process of making this little guy. And because especially the small one is so fine, you do need to be quite careful with it. And the mistake number 1 you do as a beginner is when you stick the needle in, and then while you're still inside, you pull it out at an angle. So you basically rotate it inside the wool, and that makes the needle snap off. So just train yourself to kind of poke in and out in the same direction, and you will be okay. That will minimize the needle breakage. The other thing I have ordered, which is quite essential for this process, is one of these. So first of all, it's got 7 small. I think it is small. Let me just compare it. Yes, 7 small needles, and that will minimize the time of the beginning. So when you are felting just the body and you need to do a lot of poking very quickly, you know, this just a single needle will take you forever. So having 7 needles and kind of poke it and make the wool come together very quickly, and this is the best thing. And what I like to do with it as well at the end is poke it right at the bottom like so. And as you can see, the wool starts to go in and dent in. And then if you try to sit your toy, it will sit a lot straighter without wobbling as much. So I like to use this this tool a lot, even in the end. Like, I wouldn't go over the areas that I've finished on the teddy because they're nicely felted. I don't want to have loads of little holes, but for here, for the bottom where he's going to sit, you could see I just needed to go maybe 5 times over it. Now that's with 7 needles. Imagine a single needle and going over 5 times by 7. So that would have taken a lot of pokes. It took me about 5 days, I think, or maybe 4 days to make this teddy, and every time I'd spend about 1.5 to 2 hours. So that's about how long it took, probably about 7 to 8 hours, and I will probably need another hour to finish him. So that's just to give you an idea how much time goes into this. And but it is quite affordable because all these needles cost like pennies. I'm talking about literally a few pounds, and all the other things as well. If you ordering wools in small contents, you don't pay that much. It's quite cheap. And then the other thing you'll need is a foam. So that's another main aspect that you will need. The needles, the foam, and the wool essentially is the 3 things that you will that are essential to get. So this is a nice block, also cost me a few quid, not more than that, and it's just foam, and you use that to felt it, and you layer it so that to avoid poking yourself, you poke basically the foam, and you can rest your object that you're working on and sort of rotate it and poke. Especially it's good in the beginning when you're creating the base, so, and you need to do a lot of hard poking, and then it's really fantastic. At the end, when you're working on detail, I actually was holding my teddy in the hand and doing pokes because I didn't need to go so deep in with the needle, and just working on the surface more than anything. The other 2 optional things that I will recommend if you want to give this hobby a try is one of those cutting mats. So this is a double-sided cutting mat. I'll try to link it if I find it on Amazon. I had this from my years back in college, and on one side, if you need to do some cutting with one of those super sharp knives, you have a grit here to help you, and then if you want to just use it on the other side for whatever you want, you can do that as well. So basically this just prevents from the needle again going through onto my desk, and it's if I'm doing really hardcore poking and the needle will go through all the way the foam mat, then it will land onto this rather than piercing my desktop. So that's one of the things. The other thing is wire. This is aluminium soft modeling wire, and it is very bendable and great to use if you want to create. Okay, so I can see the battery is starting to flash, and also the memory card just cut out. Right, so I was saying that if you are planning to create toys or whatever you want to create, like creatures, figures that will be flexible, and you can sort of play with them more in terms of you can position them in different ways. I mean, there isn't much you can do with a teddy, but if you're creating like something else where you want to bend the arm and put that figure into a certain shape, then you can, or you should, use this wire, which you can create like a skeleton sort of thing, and then you wind the wool around it first, and then you work your wool around it in thicker layers later on and create a nice shape. And then you can also stand up your figure. So if it would be like a bunny or a rabbit with long arms or legs or something like that, where you want them to sit or stand up or whatever, you can do that. Or you can lay them down and bend legs in certain directions or give the body a certain curving shape. You can do that, and this wire is great for that because it is so flexible and soft and it's easy to work with. So that is the other optional thing. That's when you get a little bit more advanced, I guess, at needle felting, but for the beginning you really don't need it for something like a teddy. So I hope you found this quite interesting, and I want to wish you a lovely Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. And we're going to, I think after this video you have a few videos that I pre-recorded, but I will see you with fresh videos in the new year, probably around the 3rd or 4th of the month. So yes, once again, Merry Christmas and Happy New Year, and see you soon.